Yo, why this little fresh and fit always on my nuts? Fresh and fit. Niggas gonna catch this wrath now. Y'all know how many careers I done took? Stop playing with me.
DDG just can't seem to keep himself out of controversy, but this one in particular has a bunch of people excited because of who he's beefing with, which happens to be Myron from Fresh and Fit. And if you're unaware of who the Fresh and Fit podcasts are, or even on who DDG is, don't worry, because I'm gonna break down everything that was said from both sides. But in order to do that, we have to start from the very beginning. But who even is Fresh and Fit? They are the one podcast that used to be super viral back in 2020 that talked so crazy about women and was notorious for bringing them on all the time just to dunk on them, along with being pretty big for kicking women out consistently on their podcasts.
Any of you want to get up and leave, you can feel free to leave. Because at the end of the day, you guys are all anyway, so I don't give a f. If you want to get off, get up, get the f out. Matter of fact, all y'all get the f out of here.
There we go.
Out here, man.
All right.
Ridiculous. Get the fuck out of here. All you fucking shit. I'm gonna end this myself. Get these hoes out of here, man.
More recently though, their views have been down. They have been demonetized on multiple different platforms, along with being banned on different platforms, and it seems like they just cannot catch a break. In the midst of all this, DDG was going off on the internet talking about the issues he's having with Hallie and how he's apparently unable to see his kid. And because Fresh and Fit's whole purpose is to dunk and talk crazy about women, or why you should basically just use them as objects, they saw this as a perfect opportunity and they decided to give their opinion on it, which is what caused DDG to respond in the first place.
Never take girls seriously that are influencers. Like, don't do it, bro. Like
DDG.
I called it. I called it. Nigga want to come on our show and act all brand new and that was mermaid. Get the out of here, nigga. She dropped your dumb and now you can't even see your son.
I remember Blueface made a video with him back in the day talking about having a kid with a girl. He was like, bro, don't how about to me, bro?
Came over here all think face thinking he's or whatever, and then he made that dumb video or whatever, bro. That nigga, man. I know he's you like him, but f that guy, bro.
Myron Gaines right here, the mastermind behind all women. We're gonna talk more about him later, but obviously starts this conversation up with very bad blood, saying a rhetoric that he's been saying for the longest time, that you should never get with an influencer girl because of how she's gonna act. He said this about Kai's girlfriend. He said this about many other influencer girlfriends, and because this is happening to DDG, he just feels like this is the best way to get his point across, even though maybe he hasn't considered the fact that it's not the fact that she's an influencer that she may be doing these terrible things. It's the fact that she's just a bad person in general. We have heard multiple stories of normal everyday people who go through the same things that these big influencers talk about. And when it comes to clout chasing, that doesn't happen with only women. Men could be on that same side. It's not gender exclusive. And while I do believe in some way a lot of influencers are attention seekers, mainly because it's part of their job to be in the limelight, that doesn't inherently mean you're going to be a bad parent. Sometimes you're just a bad parent because you're a bad person, and a bad person is not inherently going to be an influencer.
Yeah, he's one of these guys like that always has this face like, oh, I'm not impressed, I'm cool. Like, he's one of those guys, man. And like, it pissed me off that he said that dumb on our balcony about, oh, I don't even agree with these niggas, blah blah blah, and then he released it after the fact, and then your dumb proved me right, because I knew it was never gonna last. You're here with an A-list celebrity that got more clout and attention than you. I knew, and now you're dumb running around on Twitter like, oh, I can't see my son, nigga. What the did you expect, right? You think that you're special, you're different, getting around with a A-list celebrity as if she's not gonna try to withhold your son from you because you're on stream with random, like she's not gonna do the same that all these other girls do? Now she has the money and resources to you up and keep you away from your son. Now you're sitting there on a Twitch stream looking like a dumb monkey. I don't know what to do, man.
I already said how I feel about what specific comments he's making on the situation that DDG did bring up, and I feel like that is his right to comment on it publicly, because DDG is the one that made his situation public. Where I think he's getting a little bit off and strange is calling DDG a monkey and making personal attacks on him, when that's not even related to the situation you're supposed to be talking about to begin with, especially since the jokes that he's making aren't even funny. It's just stuff that you would hear people who think they're super edgy say. It just seems like you have a vendetta against him, which he technically did say. He doesn't like the guy at all. So this is just a nice opportunity for him to get off any talking points or anything he's already felt about him in a more justified way in his eyes. And obviously you're not going to make these comments and not have people clip it nowadays, post on social media, tag DDG, get his attention, and eventually it did end up reaching DDG, and this is what he had to say about it.
Yo, why this little fresh and fit always on my nuts? We play a whole week. I am too cool. to respond to whatever clip I seen. Too cool for you, nigga. You'll never be in my circle. Don't be mad because I ain't happy to see you, motherfucker. Fresh and Fit, nigga. Hey, Fresh and Fit K, y'all. Y'all niggas gonna catch this raft now. Y'all know how many careers I done took? Stop playing with me. He said I looked at mean or something in the club. Nigga, I got aura.
All that was happening in this clip was just DDG talking crazy about Fresh and Fit. Mainly Myron from Fresh and Fit, because I was the one that was talking bad about him and how they are nothing truly compared to him and how they wanted him to be on their platform and a part of his group. It's really sad to see because Fresh and Fit honestly do need the exposure and DDG is feeding right into that. And of course, they are going to use that to perpetuate their insane narratives, as once this clip started circulating on the internet, Myron Gaines got a hold of it on his solo stream and decided to respond to DDG.
Oh, my bad, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a lean drinking, marijuana smoking, fried chicken consuming, watermelon warrior, Kool-Aid assassin, motherfucker like you. The f is this guy talking about? You'll never be in my circle. Is that an insult? Is that a diss? I guarantee you and everyone in your circle, double-digit IQ. I promise y'all, double-digit IQ. See, the problem is this, right? With motherfuckers like this. You guys think it's cool to be a moron. And you guys pedestalize being an idiot, not going to school, not using the English language properly, not having a command on the English language. You guys think it's cool. It's really not, bro. You put your resume up against mine, you've done nothing. You've literally done nothing. You've never had a real job. You've just been a YouTuber your whole life. Shut the f up.
There is a lot to take in with this clip, especially the way Myron tries to make his chat in his community laugh. That being blatantly racist with monkey sounds, having very egregious stereotypes pointed at DDG and the rest of his community, when none of that is really the case. I don't want to make it seem like I'm over here being the #1 DDG fan, but he is definitely someone I look up to in some regard when it comes to making content and balancing a real life. And a lot of the things he said just aren't true and are someone who is just unaware of what he's really talking about. Obviously, DDG is going to clear some of this up in his response later, but I'll just tell you the big points that he missed when talking about DDG, especially that being his IQ. DDG in his own high school was valedictorian and went to college while also doing YouTube, but just happened to drop out because of how successful he was on YouTube. That it didn't make any real sense to continue with college when he is making a ton of money doing what he is doing on the internet. But at the end of the day, DDG is human, and I will admit he definitely has a ton of flaws. But none of the things that Myron said were flaws of his, and it just seems very odd that he has to stoop down to this type of level of stereotyping and racism in order to try and not only get his point across that is completely wrong, but also make a joke that are not funny. These are not jokes. This is just pure blatant racism that he's trying to use to entertain his chat. That shouldn't be allowed. Of course, the same cycle is going to repeat itself, but DDG saw these clips while he was on a live stream and decided to dig into him even more than he did in his previous response.
Watermelon warrior.
What? Oh, they banned? That's TOS? But it's like, I get it's racist, but it's like, bro, I don't even drink lean. I don't really like watermelon. Your jokes aren't funny. You're lame. It's not TOS. Let me watch it.
Is that an insult?
He was mad because I ain't want to be around him. I don't know what he talking about. Did I mug him or I don't see him outside, first of all. Like, the jokes he's saying is just like overly corny. It's to the point where I'm like, all right, bro, it's obvious this is just trying to troll and trying his best to be funny and relevant. The money is dry. You know, this been talking for a minute. This ain't making a dime. He's poor. I can guarantee you. He's poor. It's the same people. The same people commenting, bro. You fell off. You don't have to keep looking over at the chat. See how my chat just moving? See how my chat just moving down there? It ain't the same people. It's a bunch of people saying stuff. Your is 3 recycled. You fell off. It's over. No one's going on Fresh and Fit anymore. You're no longer a part of our PR run. We don't want to see you. You are done. Let it go. No.
There is no real dialogue being had here. It's just DDG clowning on him with his chat and a bunch of other people on the internet talking bad about Myron as well. And to be honest, what he's saying isn't even false. It's true. Their views are down dramatically and they're banned from a bunch of different websites. And with most of the stuff that he's saying isn't funny at all. As I said previously, it's just blatant racism. But he doesn't just drag on talking shit about him trying to see if he can get the best joke off. He then proceeds to tell Fresh that his partner he's been doing the podcast with since it started doesn't even like him anymore and wants to separate from him.
Your mans don't with you. He told me to my face at the SLS Lux at about 1 in the morning, right before I went to Booby Trap. I'm giving you the exact thing that went on that he do the podcast with. Matter of fact, I seen him on the way out yesterday. I'm like, what's up with your mans? And then he was like, I'm starting my own podcast. I don't even with that for real. Uh-oh, I'm snitching. I'm gossiping. Myron, your homie don't even with you. You're a brand risk. You his bag up. He told me this verbatim out his mouth. But y'all ain't been relevant in years. Y'all haven't been relevant in so long. Like, you're the reason.
While I will say this claim has no evidence behind it, as DDG didn't show any videos proof, I would still believe what he's saying because Myron Gaines is the more extreme person on their podcast, as Fresh, the other part of it, normally just chills and doesn't really have that big of an impact, while Myron goes around making the jokes that you see very racial, very extreme, no matter what they're talking about, and that caused them to be a huge brand risk for any platform along with any sponsorship that might want to even think about giving them any amount of money. So it makes sense why he would want to separate from him. DDG in this one response has been not only attacking Myron's credibility image, but he also went after his girlfriend, which is his newly acquired first ever relationship he's been in, and he's been flaunting around like crazy because of that. And DDG had this to say about it.
Do me a favor, y'all. Find his girl Instagram. I'm finna show her how a real man's supposed to treat her with real money. Sweetheart, I have a real bag. That man you messing with does not have it. That Rumble bag been gone. Best believe. I'm gonna show you how to really live. I could turn a 4 into a 9 overnight. Trust me, I've done it before. It's easy. Very simple. Buying her gram, I'm DMing her, I'm getting her out here immediately. Cause I know you beat on her. I know she don't want to be around you. I know you beat your hoe. That's your problem. You have such a small ceiling on your career. You want to be a podcaster. It ain't going nowhere else. That is done. And after this, you going to talk about me for the next 10 podcasts. Because it's the most heat you ever got.
The claims that he made here were pretty insane. You would expect if someone says you beat on your girlfriend that you would want to come retaliate in a way that makes sense. Have her come on there and say that's not happening and that's weird that you would insinuate that. Because if that's the case, it is very odd that out of nowhere he would say something this insane. Because domestic violence is something very serious and it's not something that should be used to further a point, especially when it's not true. But instead, the genius behind Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines, is going to go on Twitter and make a tweet that says this. Correction, I only beat her on Sundays at DDG, but thank you for the compliment. However, maybe if you beat up your mermaid ex-baby mama, you would be able to see your son more, you fried chicken connoisseur. This just shows a loser mentality this man has, all in one tweet. Not only making fun of domestic violence, but also even suggesting it to DDG, and I already know if he saw this video, he would say it's just a joke, not to take it seriously, while making himself seem like the most edgiest edgelord in the world, when in reality he just looks like a complete moron. And then he continues in his own tweet making racist remarks, which again aren't even funny. You can try to make jokes like that are funny, but the way that he's saying it and the way that he's setting up all these things, he just seems like a complete loser and idiot and doesn't really understand what he's doing. And unfortunately, I feel like DDG is going to respond to this again and continue this back and forth, when in reality he doesn't need to. He is bigger than Fresh and Fit, and this is only helping them because no one is really worried about what they're doing unless they are beefing with somebody bigger than them, this being DDG right now. And I hope that he just stops giving them attention so that everybody else will just continue to forget that they don't exist like they have been doing, and their views will just keep on plummeting down more and more. That's all I can hope for at the end of the day. But if you want to tell me what you're hoping for at the end of the day, or what your thoughts are on the situation in general, then the best place to do that would be the comment section down below. This video is unfortunately literally over. But if you did enjoy this video, maybe consider giving it a like, and if you enjoy content like this, maybe consider subscribing, because I post like this every single week and you'll never miss out on a single upload if you hit that bell icon, because you'll get notified the millisecond a video goes live. But that's enough for me. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.